Yo guys, and welcome back to the stream. And it is your boy Pal here at Game Life, and we are now here with AC. And AC is the owner of the DILUC, the character. If you've been watching our streams, basically AC's been doing a lot of the Ghost of Tsushima stuff and a lot of action RPG stuff also as well. And if you're gonna be asking why are we doing this, because a lot of people are actually doing a lot of inquiries and questions about the DILUC build that you've been seeing in our channel recently. So right now we're gonna go to AC and he's gonna be explaining about what he's been doing with his DILUC.
Okay guys, I'm AC. I've been playing this DILUC for a while. Ever since I started the account, I was one of the lucky few who got him. He's at Constellation 0, as you can see, and you know I had no choice but to build him as a main DPS because I didn't draw anybody else. Right now, I wanted him to be like a flexible DPS, so I didn't go to the Pyro Elemental Bonus damage route. I went for the white damage and crit damage build route, so he can be flexible and he can do a lot of he can kill a lot of enemies other than like weakness with the pyro. So he can kill anybody with it. It's hard to explain. Well, anyways,
Dude, look at that! It's 10k.
yeah.
So,
Basically, you can kill anybody with him with this build because he's focusing on his crit damage, which increases all the damage of the character, not just the pyro damage or the physical damage. So
so all of this starts from pretty much the character, right? Because DILUC's character stat is actually crit, right?
yeah, that's luckily enough, it's a very good build for him because he has like a crit rate enhancement during his
His
ascension.
ascension, right? And after that, the second one that we are going to be talking about is his weapon, because basically a lot of people out there are what I think is really, really not really taking advantage of the battle pass weapon, which is actually the serpent spine.
Yeah, the Serpent Spine is a really good weapon for him because it's accessible. It's not as expensive as those 5-star weapons. All you need to do is get the battle pass and level it up.
Yep, and it is only one of those few things in this game that is sure.
Yeah, you can surely get it once
Yeah,
you level.
surely you can get this weapon if you just do the battle pass, and if you want to level it up again, you just do it next month.
Yeah,
So, sure things in this game is pretty hard to come by. So definitely, I do suggest that you guys take advantage of the Serpent Spine.
yeah. The crit rate on this weapon right now is at 25, and that's really big because that really helps up build. That really helps with the crit build.
All right, so let's go into the attributes.
As you can see, I'm at 72 crit rate right now and 139 crit damage. That's the main focus of this build.
Yeah,
It's not really gonna be about like pyro damage or whatever. It's
yeah,
just these two stats.
because white damage is actually, for you guys who are pretty much new to the game, I want to just explain that damage is your white stat, which is your attack, plus that green stat, which is your artifact enhancement. So combined, that is what you're talking about as your damage. When people say attack, it means that white stuff, which is going to be 744 here on the screen. And the weapon, I mean, that's your weapon, and that is your base attack of your character at its level at the moment.
Yeah, and crit damage increases this stat, this two stat.
So
I
when you
mean,
say crit damage, it means 744 plus the green stuff, which is 945, multiplied by
one point.
139.6. So pretty much that's the
It's
real
one
damage.
point 39. So
Yeah.
100% is 1.39 multiplied.
Yeah, which is
Pretty big.
pretty big. Because
Compared to if you went for a attack percentage stat, which
you're
we always say that it's a bad stat. It only applies to the
44.
744 in
So
this
pretty much in a gold item, you have around 46.
percent. So 46%
46%,
of that is pretty low.
about 300 something. So yeah, which is actually not sad. I mean, well, If you want to build your guys, your gut is that way. You do you. But we're
I
just
mean, I think there's gonna be like a point in the game, like above 90, I think, that your attack percentage is gonna be bigger than the. But that's really far away.
that's nine. I think that's 80 to 90, where certain attack stats actually
Exceeds
exceed more than what the feather
what
actually
it
gives
gives
you,
you. Yeah,
because it's we're basing it off a feather.
yeah,
Because the feather is the most bang for the buck item that you need to add to your character to increase the damage for your build. So if you're looking at, we got 68.5% physical bonus
This is
damage.
from my cup because in my build I made it really flexible. So when I need elemental damage, I shift my cup to something else, to pyro damage. So
So
this stat is flexible actually. I can shift my stat if I need it to be. If I need it to be pyro damage, I'll just shift cups.
that's why, guys, just as a note, if you're gonna be building your characters, you need to make your cup the off piece, so you can make your character as flexible as you can. Meaning, in other words, let's go to the artifact screen. Let's say you're doing different a whole set, right? Most of you guys are running a set, but if you're running a set, if you're gonna go around to the different kinds of items, basically you've got your headpiece, you got your feather, you've got your flower, and you've got your timepiece. All of those four should actually be the set pieces, and your off piece, or the one piece that isn't a part of your set, should be your cup, because in sometimes we want to do a lot of physical damage. What you do is you go and look for your physical cup. And if you want to do more elemental damage, you actually shift your cup, and let's say for this case it is DILUC. So what you're gonna shift into a pyro damage cup. So that means we're trying to maximize or min max whatever damage that we are actually doing in the case of what enemy type are we facing. Because it's not every day that your character is actually just going to be using elementals. Sometimes you also want that physical, because not um, it does not compound with any other element. Basically, it is a neutral damage
Yeah,
character.
it's the most consistent source of damage, the white damage.
So yeah, and also if you're gonna be considering how much, you need also to consider how much percent of your character is doing damage. Meaning, like if your character is pretty much like mine is Jean. So Jean does 90%, 90% physical damage. So I put her on a physical cup.
Yeah,
And if I am a Venti, in which I actually swirl a lot, I actually have so much anemo damage, outputting pretty much 80% of Venti is anemo damage. So what I do is I'll shift him to an anemo plus a viridescent set.
yeah. In my case, in the looks, I wanted him to be really flexible because he's my only DPS. So I didn't want to get like stuck if the enemy is fire element. So I can't hit him that hard, right? If I was doing fire damage. So I wanted him to be really flexible. And one of the flexible things that I did with him is I put in a lot of like elemental mastery.
All right.
So if I needed to do elemental damage with elemental enemies, it outputs as much as my white damage.
So let's go cycle around the artifacts for a bit. So let's start with the headpiece. So the headpiece is basically crit damage 62%, and it has a crit rate of 9.7, elemental mastery of 42, and basically trash stats.
Yeah,
And
it's a 50-50 roll.
yeah, so basically it's a 50-50 roll. So you guys, if you get like a gold item and got a good primary stat, like some people say don't roll it, but there might be a chance that it's gonna roll really good. So like losing out 10% on your experience on each item isn't really a bad price to pay, just to see if the artifact can reach its full potential.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 roll. And then the next item would be the cup,
Yeah,
which is at now it's set as physical damage, but I already got like a pyro damage bonus just in case I wanted more pyro damage situational. If and I'm on a domain that's full of like ice enemies,
yeah,
so I'm gonna use this cup instead of the physical damage
yeah.
cup.
So and I'm also a firm believer that damage test should be done outside of domains, and because there's no buffs, there's no modifiers actually in the world, so pretty much it's more of a fair part in which we can
Yeah, it's
actually
a
test the
realistic
character.
way to test it because you can't have all those buffs.
Anyway, let's move on to the timepiece. The timepiece is an attack percentage cup. It's got crit rate, crit damage, Elemental Mastery 32, pretty much a good item for your timepiece. And I think the timepiece is the only realistic attack percentage item in your set. Pretty much on mine too. I always have a uh, attack timepiece because it's unless I need more elemental damage or energy recharge, it's pretty much the only thing that I could actually put attack on. Or there's no other better stat to put.
Yeah, right now I'm on the fence about this artifact because I'm planning to put him on elemental mastery. Because like I said, I wanted to like
Do more elemental
do the
damage
damage with
because
my reactions.
you're the trigger of the reactions. Because if you're like pretty much like let's say Chongyun, which is actually the aura of the reactions, or the
Yeah.
first person who's gonna put the reaction, I mean the element on a enemy, you're not the trigger, but the trigger basically does the elemental damage. So you need to have a elemental damage item on your trigger.
Yeah, right now I'm on the process of getting that bloodstain elemental mastery with good substat. Apparently, sadly, is not it. As you can see, it's all trash. So I'm
Yeah.
still hunting for that. And the next piece would be the feather.
Yeah, the feather. The feather has 5.3% attack, crit damage of 12%, elemental mastery of 61, and defense 14.6.
Yeah, I really like this item because it has a lot of elemental mastery and crit damage.
Oh. And lastly is the feather, which actually will always be HP. Remember, guys, feather always attack, attack amount. It's flat attack. Next is the feather will always give you flat HP, and your headgear, pretty much your headgear, timepiece, and cup will only be the variables in the build. But what actually matters is the substats. That's why we're going into the substats pretty much more than the main stats, because definitely the main stats are already a given when you're watching this video. So right now the flower is defense 6.6. It's got a crit rate of 9.7, attack percentage of 15.2, and HP of 9.9. So pretty much the entire build is working on a one two piece physical damage of bloodstain. So that's at 25% physical damage plus the cup damage. That's why a while ago you saw the damage stats on the attributes, which is around 60% something 65.
I was planning on like 50% Noblesse set because it adds like elemental bonus burst damage of 20%. But sadly, I haven't gotten like any good pair yet, so I'm still working on my full set.
And another thing that most of the people forget to actually upgrade, especially with their characters, is the talents. Because sometimes talents are one of the best places to actually get damage and increase the output of your character. Which is you need to actually increase your character's talents. In this case, his talent is his normal attack talent is level 8.
Yep.
That means he's been lucky enough to get
The balance bloom twice.
yeah, the Devalence Plume twice. I haven't had the luxury of actually getting any RNG drop from this ever since I actually
My last balance drop wasn't bloom, so don't feel bad.
yeah, but mine I haven't done anything, so all of my stuff is at 6. So yeah, like once you start an AR40, all of your talents above level 6 will need a RNG drop from the weekly boss. So definitely you need to actually set your sights on that and actually try to farm it as much as possible every week. So don't forget to upgrade your talents, because the talent is also one of the places where actually a lot of damage actually comes from.
Yeah, right now, for example, the normal attack is at that's a very big multiplier. It's
Yeah.
1.5
And
for your attacks.
the last attack is actually 229. So basically, if we're talking about like each of these factors actually change depending also on your weapon type and character. So guys, be also like aware that let's say single hand sword people will actually have a lower amount of multipliers. Definitely claymore people have higher amount of multipliers, and the lowest basically of everyone will be the bow users, which only I think is even at level 6 is already at 65.
Really?
It's very low. That's why bows
But
have
you
a
know
really
the downside of the claimer people are they have a really low attack speed.
yeah, low attack speed. But guys, there's also what we call uh, what do you call this? Action canceling or dash canceling, and it is something that you guys should also be aware of if you
Yeah, I
want to
do
play
it all
better.
the time.
So anyway, let's shift to this battle with Child, and that's when did you do this again? Last night.
Yeah,
All right, so let's gonna be shifting through this, and let's see about the damage output here at the Child boss. So basically, hope you guys enjoy. Play that.
This opportunity is quite hard to come by. Well, there.
So I think we should talk about it
Surrender
like
is a valid option.
right now,
I
and
promise I'll be gentle.
well, he's tankier than the last one. I mean, this is level 80 already. At World
yeah,
Six.
this is not the story Child. This
Yeah,
is the world level Child.
Not bad.
Anyway, like pretty much like there's a lot of damage being done there. Like if you guys saw a while ago, there was like there's the buff of the venti buff. Anyway, guys, if you guys are curious that actually has food buffs, and obviously Bennett buff. So like obviously the figures that you're gonna be seeing is a bit more is a bit higher because like yeah, it is a boss. So definitely, where are you gonna use your food buffs anyway?
Exactly.
So if it's a boss, use your food buffs, guys. You know, don't be stingy on the food. That's why you're farming it, right?
No, this attack is the first time I've seen that attack.
Yeah, the one that he threw.
Yeah.
Because pretty much, I think both of our child boss battles actually just last around 2 minutes.
Mine was under.
Yours 153, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty quick. He didn't got to that point that he was using all his skills.
Yeah.
That's why I caught off guard by that spear throwing thing. It hurts a lot. I mean, this child is,
Like, mine. I just needed to
painful,
see.
man.
I just needed to see the whale. So yeah, pretty much. Well, at least he wasn't actually. You don't get an elemental reaction from him.
Yeah, but the Bennett's
There goes the buff again.
yeah Bennett's buff also causes no mental reaction on him periodically if he's on like electro, like in the second form. That's why his HP was like going down really fast.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. Anyway, guys, just for pretty much another background about the build. Um, this build is not really entirely free to play, but we just bought the battle pass and the blessings. So pretty much that's as much that's just much items that actually we actually got. So pretty much we did. There's nothing much about it. So I think it's something realistically possible for you guys to do if you want to try out a different DILUC build or a different build in.
I mean, I tried using Project Aminos on him. It works really well still, but with less crit rate.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm still a firm believer that like it's also a different kind of flavor, but yeah, like building things out of a weapon that already has crit makes things easier to build on. So definitely, I think
Because that stat is really hard to come by in substats,
because in substats it's hard to come by. You need to sacrifice your headpiece for it.
and it greatly affects your output.
Yeah, so probably things would be different if probably I got a Kaching. Kaching is also different because her base stat on her ascension is definitely crit damage, and
that's a different talk.
and that's a different talk, and definitely that is a different build because all of the builds actually will change depending on on your character, next your weapon, next your playstyle. Like me, my playstyle is like I'm more of a what do you call this? A charge attack
Person.
CC person.
Me, I'm a wacky person.
I like
whacking things.
I like to manipulate battlefield opportunities like if this is a hard enemy, I will push the enemy away, far away from me, so I will have more time to kill the lesser HP enemies. That kind of deal.
Me, I'm just your basic whacker. I mean, I like doing normal attacks mostly. That's why I went for this build.
Yes. Anyway, hopefully that explains a lot about the different things about the DILUC build that you've been seeing here on our channel because a lot of people have been asking, and hopefully this also gives you a insight on actually how to build your characters a little differently. I mean, like if there's a lot of builds going out there.
Yeah, there's no one way of doing
There's
it.
no one real way of doing it. As long as you guys are happy whacking stuff, if you guys are happy with your build, definitely that is the best build for the meantime. But if you guys want like a little bit more extra damage, definitely that is always a nice thing to have. More crit in your life. Anyway, it's your boy Pao here, and this is AC. And please do click like and subscribe if this video helped you. And hopefully, with all that being said, we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.